So Reevesy, how good does it feel to be back playing regularly?
Yeah, huge. Yeah, obviously when you're injured, it's highly frustrating when you feel like you could be helping out and stuff like that. So to be back and obviously feel nothing, touch wood, has been really pleasing. Yeah.
For the games where you were watching on from the stands, is there anything you sort of learned about the group that you perhaps didn't know before, just from watching it from a different perspective?
No, not necessarily in terms of the group. Probably more made me even more sure and sort of assured that the group that we have is a really good one and the group's very, very together. Obviously when you're playing you feel it because you're in it and you can see it, but then to be out of it on the outside and then to look in, you can still see that cohesion and everything working like how it should. So yeah, probably that.
What's the secret behind our defensive record, would you say? 20 goals conceded, 17 clean sheets.
I don't think there's a massive secret, to be honest. It's just hard work, good defenders obviously, but it's also been a build-up and the gaffer having time at a club to implement certain values on how he wants us to defend and certain things that we do, and obviously having Jono and Lucy play together for 2 years, especially in the middle. I know their plan is a 3 now, last year was like 2. And obviously other lads creating relationships around the pitch helps. And everyone works their socks off. Like even Matty's always one of the highest ones from the defensive side. What Omar does obviously is invaluable. And obviously Owen's a really good keeper as well. So when you tie it all in together, that's the outcome.
We're in second place with 15 games to go. Obviously you've been in a similar position before in your career. How do you think we can continue this form but also see our objective over the line at the end?
It's more of the same, and I know it's a cliche, but you literally now, what we've got now, 15 games left. It's literally how many wins do you need? So if, for example, in other seasons where you might need, say, 6 wins to make sure you get over the line, if you lose the next one or you lose the one after that, your objective is still the same, it's still 6. It might feel worse because you've lost the 2, so you've got the less games, but at the end of the day, it's take each game as it comes and just keep ticking that scoreboard over. Like we got the point the other night when we didn't play well. That gives us another point. That gives us a point away from someone or a point closer to someone. So the main thing is just more of the same work. It's obviously working. So keep doing it, and hopefully at the end we'll be close to where we want to be.
What's becoming captain taught you?
Not that I wasn't, I'd say, mature anyway, but helps me growing up in certain scenarios sometimes. Sometimes I like to be quite jovial and stuff like that, but especially when you're captain, there's a time and a place for it, particularly. And also when the sessions, for example, like training and stuff, needs to be serious, you kind of take that on yourself to be the first one to start that. Right, the jokes are over now, like we're training. And it's also, I'd say, taught me to look wider than obviously just yourself and where you're playing and stuff like that. You're obviously looking at not just the lads that are playing. You've got to look, try and get an arm around everyone. Lads that are injured, lads that are not playing, for example, lads that are on the bench that maybe feel like they should be playing, and just try and help them and communicate, I think.
If the current Jake Reeves spoke to the young Jake Reeves who joined Wimbledon on loan, what would you say about the club? If you were to tell him about it?
Stay here as long as you can because you'll love it. You fit in well. Your values as a human seem to tie in quite well with how this club is and how this club is built on. It's been built on hard work, how I had to start. I was never one of those ones that was a name, he's coming through, that sort of one. I always had to work to get to have a career. And like this club has had to work to get to where it's got to. So stay as long as you can and enjoy it.
And you're likely to come up against your good friend Lyle Taylor this weekend as we play Colchester. Is there going to be any sort of friendly banter between yourselves in the build-up for the game, or has there been already?
Nah, not at all. Nah, I've spoke to him briefly, but nothing to do with football at all, really. Just ask how the kids are and stuff like that. I'm sure when we get out there, if there's a 50-50, we'll both try and smash each other, so there'll be no problem with that.
That's what we like to hear. Just lastly, you're 9 games away from playing 200 games for the Dons. What maintains your passion for the club?
Just same thing again. I always say, I said to a couple of young lads in the week, as you're getting older, not that I'm particularly at that stage where I'm like too old, but when you get older, it's about the hunger. And you have to keep your hunger for the game, because there's younger lads that are going to come up and obviously going to be different to you that might take your place one day. But you've got to keep your hunger to keep your standards up if you want to carry on playing, to keep them down where they are or get them moved on. And it's the same with this club. This club is never sitting still. it's always hungry to keep going and keep getting to the next level. It's not got to a stage where it's gone, look at what we've done, we're quite happy now. It's like, well, what's the next thing? What can we do now? So that's what I'll say.
Thanks, Reeves. All the best in the weekend.
No problem.